Bizarre Ride from the Pharcyde is Kanye West's favorite album of all time. Not hip hop album, favorite album of all time. And that came out in 1992. And Jay Swift produced most of it, but we all had our hand in it. It was all a collaborative effort of Imani, Booty Brown, Fatlip and Smilkid3 way back in 1992. Fast forward to 2018, bam, Bizarre Ride. Here we are in Italy.
Can't keep away. Come on, Lord. You can't keep running away. You can't keep running away.
I always feel like it's not about us, it's about the fans. And, you know, like Pharcyde, when we were together, you know, like, I feel like along the way we had lost what that was, what that meaning was, you know, like even to capture the energy of Bizarre Ride itself, you know, because ever since that first album, people have been wanting another Bizarre Ride record, and it's like we just didn't know how to get to that. But I feel like now we've found how to get back to it because we found that happiness that was happening during that time. So like whenever we make something, we can like tap into that energy because it's about the fun. And I was like, if you can take fun and put it in, you know, put it in the bottle, that's what the people want to buy. You know, if you can take fun and you can press it on a record, that's what people want to buy. So, you know, that's the energy that we kind of give off in our shows and everything. So it's cool to carry the banner of Bizarre Ride around because it's what people remember. It's the first album that they, you know, they took to when they joined, you know, the Pharcyde, you know, movement. And since our group disbanded, it was good for us to keep that banner of Bizarre Ride to let them know that they can trust what they're going to get. You know, they can trust the fact that they're going to, you know, be able to tap into this energy again.
Because I'm sick of this preach. Bitch, look at drip, roll the niggas with a just see other dealers who can ensure that I'm the size of the pride. Catch a tip on the slow water with you. Open up your eyes, baby, I really wish that you don't move around. Never throw another bitch in the sea, that is. You know there's other fish in the sea, that is. You know there's other fish in the sea, that is. You know there's other fish in the sea.
And then the rehearsal was actually where the soul of it reincarnated that.
Yeah.
Because you saw Jay Swift like just, you know, Jay Swift was coming off of a 7-year off the grid situation with his situation, and just to see him light up on these keys, it was like magic. It was like real, like Hollywood magic.
Sergeant King, Sergeant Captain, I'm a superintendent, never no soldier. See, I'm the type of nigga, catch a bullet in my teeth. So you say Nick Dick, you get hung like a reef. Set your track is what I do to put your head out. To turn the bullets, get you back to rush for the ghetto. I'm the type of nigga that'll serve you on a platter. Like a piece of glass when I drop it, you shatter. I'm the type of nigga that's brutalized. I'm the type of nigga that'll whoop your ass. I'm the type of nigga that'll say what's up to a brother, but a devil will just get fucked up. And it's like that, I'm right back, I'm picking the mic and straight out your ego. This motherfucking ego is awesome. Hey, I changed my name and you know that I'm gonna solve the show. You better get off my dick, cause if it ain't a beat junkie, then you ain't said shit. Who is the nigga in charge over here? Who is it? Who is the nigga in charge over here? Who is the nigga in charge? You better watch it high, cause this.
Yeah, everybody just played their positions, I guess, and we turned something great into something, I don't even know the word for it. It's the way that people receive it. It's crazy. They'll come up to you just like, oh, it's like yesterday, high school. You hear that all day. So.
And that's a good thing, you know. That's a good thing to reconnect with the fans like that, you know.
Absolutely.
Once again, it's about the fans, you know. At this point, it was about us at one point, but now it's really about the fans, you know.
And how about you? Like,
For myself, DJ Manwell. For myself, I'm actually coming more from the fan perspective because I actually have no connection as far as musically, music ties to the album or anything. The project. I just was actually brought on by the homie C Brown. What up, DJ C Brown?
C Brown.
So for me, it's more of like kind of like a dream come true, I guess. You know what I mean? Like Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde being like one of my top 5 personal favorites as far as hip hop albums are concerned. So for me, every night is kind of a trip. It's like it's very dreamy to me and very surreal that these brothers afforded me a platform to be able to share my art to the world. So for me, it's just a blessing. It's an honor and a blessing.
Like say for instance, let's say if Fatlip is gonna do something new, right?
Yeah.
New visually on the stage. When I say new, there's no like pre-buffered warning. Things happen because of what happens here. It could be a look that threw you off of what you originally wanted to do. Then this happens. So now this new thing happened, and then me and Trey just mentally feel it. It's like
telepathic.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like you just you're so in sync that you're.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
In sync. You're so in sync that you automatically know. I mean, this is down to like doing from ad-libbing to stage awareness.
Yeah.
To the theatrical part of it, doing a lot more movements than a bunch of guys just standing in one spot, rapping with the whole block on the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is my cousin Tony and Lil Pookie, and I'm right here rapping. So it's like you have it's a lot of pieces to a machine constantly going, and then everybody's mind is set that the machine just goes. And then so you always adding to the machine on the fly. And then if it was really worth it, then you just keep the new edition you did. If not, you was like, oh, that was cool. Well, you talk about it later. But as far as like it's just all
in the moment.
It's just connected. It's everything is connected. You know, it's a network. It's an unseen network that we have, that has its own firewall that you guys don't know about, but we know about it. You know what I mean? But then it's also that you guys feed you guys still get through the firewall for us to do the new things and the different transitions and the fun stuff.
I think what's cool about because to add to this is that everybody's so seasoned in their position. That's first and foremost. Because if they weren't extremely talented, and if he wasn't extremely good at freestyle and improv, and same with Lip and Manuel is just so super seasoned as a DJ, and I'm just completely intuitive to pick up and listen. I think being a good listener to each other helps us to understand what we can actually create, or as we're creating on the fly, to catch it proper is amazing, and I feel like we're blessed, to for that to occur with us, And yes, we're like, I don't feel like our egos are in the way when it comes down to the creative flow of energy. So we're just like, oh my God, like there's many times that we've stumbled upon great ideas and just it all matched up. As long as we keep our like egos out of the way of it, so much magic can continue to, occur. And that's what's been happening. Like I feel like we're blessed to do it.
In the house. Now, will everybody get on up? Get on up.
I guess sometimes we don't see, like I might not see when I'm, I take responsibility for my thing, whatever that is. You know what I mean? When we get to the stage, that has nothing to do with shit else but what we're supposed to do as the energy and the showmanship, and so I picked that up a long time ago. I remember like when we did the Rock the Bells tour. None of us were really getting along per se, right? But when we hit that stage, I feel like all of that stuff disappeared because it has no business being present when we're honoring the music that's coming through that we're supposed to deliver to the crowd. You know what I mean? And I think that's always happened to us. You know what I mean? It's like when we're on stage, it's about that stage. When I'm off that stage, whatever bullshit that I have going on, that's on me. And it's how, and that's what that is. But for the most part, and what Bizarre should be or is or what have you, it's about this music, it's about this performance and entertainment or whatever. What people do outside of that is none of my business. What we do when we stand on that stage is perform because we are all seasoned. He's amazing, he's amazing, he's amazing, I'm amazing. And we're blessed to be able to do that. So I think the energy will teach us why the ego should have no business in it.
What do you think?
I mean, I was just thinking about this shit at the airport. It's like, you know what it is? It's like, you got a group full of artists. We're all artists. Everybody got their own personalities and their own strange way of doing something that works for them. And then when you put all of those people in a group, it's magic because it's so many. It's like what do you call it? It's like opposite, but it's the same. It's like we're all different, but we're all the same. You know what I mean? So it's like groups are crazy. That shit is crazy because it's like and I think that's what makes it. You know what I mean? Any group you can think of, it's like Wu-Tang Clan, they're all different. Any group you can think of, you know what I mean? But like going back to what you were saying, if you can keep it for the fans and the music and respect what each individual, what they bring to the table, what they bring to the stage, it's gonna be a good show every time. We almost died.
The turbulence.
We all thought we were gonna be dead and we weren't gonna make it.
No exaggeration.
No exaggeration.
No exaggeration.
No exaggeration.
They thought that. I did.
I was praying.
I turned my music up. Yeah, we was turning our music up.
I
We was
paid
like,
attention to
Bro,
the story.
there was a grown man laying in the aisle.
I saw that.
Yeah, he came from the bathroom, right?
I just looked at
Laid
the
out.
stewardess. As long as they're like smiling, I'm good.
But
Because
she
they
had
do
to
this
shake
shit
her
all
voice.
day. But then, like, he was behind me, and he was like, "Oh, but her voice, they weren't all good." See,
They weren't
thank
all
God
good.
for headphones.
they weren't all good.
Shout out to Huawei.
Hey, shout out to Italian Red Wine because I was actually chilling. I was actually chilling. I helped out the lady that was next to me. I was
helped out the
smiling.
lady that was next to me.
I was like,
Yeah.
we good.
I was
Yeah.
like, dang, this
I said
is,
that. I said that too.
This was
Right?
a nice
And she was
little
tearing a hole in the
dent we
chair.
just did. It was like,
That shit was that.
and
It
I
was.
like,
I don't think it was turbulence. That's what I'm saying. Like I've been through turbulence, but I think the pilot might have had a little.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know.
You think the pilot has something
I-
to
I-
drink?
really, he really think he believes that.
But no, Toby said
Outta here.
this. Toby.
That
Toby
was
said this
turbulence,
like
bro.
that.
That was the other plane.
Nah, Toby was like, nah, the pilot.
This pilot was
Yeah,
drinking
he
too?
said this pilot was drinking.
Yeah,
What?
Hey, you see
Yeah,
that
could've
movie
been
Flight
drinking.
with Denzel? Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, time out, time
We
out.
still gotta go.
We gotta,
home.
we gotta fly
go
home,
home,
yo.
man.
Enough.
Wow.
So that was the craziest thing.
That was a great.
Shit, I'm doing my number, like reporters hit my brother. I'm about to take your brother, from a rain and terror. You needed to box in your honor and game. I am not afraid. Cause I'm the type of nigga that you never forget. And I'm the type of nigga that can take some shit. With nothing to hide. What's your name? Platinum from the far side. Who is the nigga in charge? Who is the nigga in charge? Who is the nigga in charge over here?
Everything in Europe, that's everything. I mean, new and old school. And they know how to departmentalize them and not really get caught up in because I met some guys that went to our shows or whatever, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're about to go to the A$AP Rocky show. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So that's it's not that big of a difference, but it is a difference. And I don't know, I feel like the States, if you can find them, they're there. It's like getting to them might be harder, I think. I don't know, that's me personally. It's heads everywhere though, so it's hard.
Yeah,
to
sometimes
say,
I
but they
don't.
definitely
Sometimes I don't know what the
receive
vibe
it.
is for
Oh, yeah.
the states,
Yeah.
but out here it seems like they're more open. They really connect with hip hop well. They really care about it. They want vinyl all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it just reminds me of how hip hop used to be. You know, and you get that in Japan too. You know, and the U.S. I really don't know. I don't know where their heads are at, to be honest.
I
know?
think in the U.S. it's always because it comes from there. It grows there. It grows from there because it's black music. It's like it goes from the hood, and it all grows from there. And so when you go overseas, internationally, it's very interesting to see it being appreciated because we grew up with this like we did in high school and junior high school, and you know what I mean. So to see hip hop on the platform that it's at, which is a universal platform, is amazing. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And my theory is that in Europe, nothing gets old because you guys have history. So it's like, there's no date. Like if something is good, it doesn't get old. It's always going to be good.
She told me 2 little birdies gonna drive the crew. She was a flake like corn, and I was going out to understand by letting her pass. I proved to be the better. So yes, show, and you don't stop. Say, kings of everybody.
Me personally, if you don't like it, just don't listen to it.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah,
That's pretty
Right?
simple. That's pretty simple.
I can't knock what another individual's feeling. Like if that individual wants to create that particular sound.
Do you like it?
Well, do I like it personally?
Yeah.
No, I just don't listen to it. So that's just me personally. It's a very simple equation for me. So I just promote what I promote and I play what I feel is attached, like I want to be attached to as far as my man. So and I'm 37, so I'm a little more on the conscious end. You know what I'm saying? I might look young. No, I'm 37, so that's why I totally understand this era. So I come from that era also, but I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's totally fine. You know, I just don't indulge in that. You know, I just kind of stick to my lane, and you know, it's pretty simple for me.
Bad boy. And who was the first artist on there though? I think his name had Mac in it. It was like, enjoy.
I mean, one thing I noticed about these new cats, I don't think they consider themselves hip hop artists because they're so young. They're like 19 years old. So I don't think they knew, like they were born after 1999 and they're born after the 90s. So I don't think
I think it's a super disconnect, right?
Yeah, so I don't think that they rap, and of course there's remnants of hip hop culture that influence their parents and their uncles and stuff like that. But I think they're just doing what they do, and the one thing I don't think older hip hop artists should compare them. There shouldn't be any comparison. It's like
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. So.
Well, the only thing you can't. There's only one thing you can compare is their grind for you to hear their voice. Because hip hop with us was to hear us. Yo, check out what I'm doing. Oh, he's striking up over here. I'm gonna strike up over here. They do
Strike
that,
up.
but in their way.
Right.
I was talking to my oldest son, man. I'm gonna tell you something. It's opposite because they don't care about lyrics. They care about ad libs.
They care about vibes.
That's why they can mumble. They can go blah 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 blah. Yeah, they're waiting for. Yeah, they don't really give a shit. So like when you realize that, they've created a new. They're more like some hip hop. They're like some party vibe. I don't know what you would call it.
But what about the master of ceremony? Like what? Sometimes, and
Well, I think it just changed. It just changed.
But it still exists.
It still exists.
There's still young artists that are in
Dylan
scene.
Cooper, HD Ben Dope. It's a lot of those guys out
Joey
here.
Badass.
Joey Badass.
oh my God, Joey.
Yeah, it's
Been
a
a long time, isn't it?
it's a bunch of those guys.
I mean, but there's
They're
no
so
denying that impact. You can call it mumble rap if you want to, but the little Uzis and all of those dudes, there's no denying the impact that music has. That's some strong black music. It's still black music, and it's gonna be around. That music is gonna. It made a really strong impact. That's why everybody talks about it. You know what I mean? Because if it didn't matter, we wouldn't even talk about it. You know what I mean? But they do huge festivals, huge concerts, and the one thing I do notice, it'll be like 50,000 kids on the same beat. Like, you know what I mean? It'll be somebody with some purple dreadlocks come out and do it, but they all it has impact. It's some strong music. You know what I mean?
Shit has impact.
Nah,
from a
it
building.
ain't shit.
You know what I mean? It's like I just think things are a different vibe. Because my son is 16, and when I sit in the car with him, I always pass the aux plug so they can. I want to know what they're listening to. I want to know what they're connecting with. You know what I mean? And when I do that, I understand like the distance between the generation gap that there is. Like, what am I doing trying to jump into their world? I need to continue to be in my world and vibe and zone and do that, because it'll, like, if you don't do you'll never have the particular impact that he's saying. And they do have their own zone, and they do have their own impact for sure. Like when I'm at my son's basketball games, they're connecting with Drake and all, like, no, serious, like
that too.
You know what I mean? They're
Drake
connecting
is
with that, and that's like, that's their graduation music, and that's what they're vibing to, and we don't really. It's just not our world of things.
It's mine. I mean, look.
You know what I mean?
If
Well,
it's
it's not
hip,
mine for
to
sure.
me, hip hop is taking something from nothing, creating something from nothing.
yeah.
So if you're saying you made something, nobody taught you how to do that, you just did that on your own in your bedroom, and then now you're doing that all over the world. That part.
What is the apple of my eye? Oh, look at you speak out my feelings coming out, but I try. Wait, I didn't know really pursue. I did the prisons with persistence, and I was so lucky that was unaware of mine. From my distance, secretly admired. Why I met her. What name I did, you do not know me, but I know you very well. Now let me tell you about the where you at? Only consider the shit I said. Well, considering that you never left you, so when you with your man, then I would be true. The only lying I would do is in the bed with you. Signs of sinning the one who loved you dearly, PS I mean tender. But the letter came back 3 days later, featured the center. Yeah.
You want to kick the first rhyme that I ever wrote?
Very first rhyme you ever Jabba D?
My Jammer D, but I don't remember the first verse, but I remember the second verse.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Coming up tough? That don't ring a bell?
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm coming up tough, but to be more specific, I'm gifted with the smooth and swift, terrific style. Grab the mic and I'll smile. Groove a little while to make the women say wow and ask how. Did the kid begin to win the game? A rap, I reckon I got my dope eat to blame. I came to tame and shame the lame. Slap and tap and scrap and bust the cap. Bring pain to rappers a yap cause I reign. On a parade of sucker MCs cause my train of thought is on the right track, so I will remain to get funky, simple and plain, because I love to entertain, and I will remain time and time again to blow and float like a hurricane, some shit like that though. But yeah,
Like some kid in place.
Oh, that was cool.
no, come on, Big Daddy K. Hey, shout out to Big Daddy. Shout out to Big Daddy K and Marley Marl. That was my first rhyme.
That's amazing.
That was good.
So I guess, what can we expect next from? Where are you guys?
Where are we going?
Do? What should people know about?
What can we expect next from Bizarre Ride to me is, since we had the just privilege of tapping into that energy again, I think it's going to be a lot more new music. There's a few things that we have this mixtape called The Titty. Yep, and it was really good, and the energy on that kind of will help you to understand the direction of where we are going or where we can go. K-Natural sits at home every day. I think he probably records a song a day or so. We just kind of like flip back and forth. So like I think our first focus is music and what type of music and just the energy of it, you know. So be on the lookout.
Thank you guys.
Yo, it's K-Nat.
Yo, what up, it's DJ Manwell.
This is Smilkid3.
Fat Lizzle in the pizzle.
And you're tuned in with That Loud.
That loud.
That loud.
In the place, y'all.
Turn it all the way up. It's That Loud.
It's all right.
And now I shall go eat.
Peace.